Welcome back to Over 30s Gaming. All right, we have the week before it comes out, the GATAC Railen behind the ships. I haven't seen this yet, so let's watch this together. Behind the ship, Star Citizen, GATAC Railen.
The GATAC Railen is an alien medium hauler from GATAC Industries and prioritizes speed of loading and unloading cargo by having it all on the exterior. The Railen is our first dedicated cargo hauler from an alien race, and this is an important moment in that a lot of our other alien ships are combat focused. Just like us, they also need an entire suite of ships to be able to fulfill what they do every day in their lives.
Thing has 8 hardpoints. What?
So one of the things that we really wanted to push with our alien ships is just that distinction from kind of human manufacturing techniques and alien manufacturing techniques. We kind of developed this idea that they had this really kind of advanced systems that would allow them to be able to almost kind of grow their ships in the shapes that they wanted. So things like the really big armored plates that are on the front of the ship. The idea was that these were naturally mined materials rather than having to kind of go in and extract these materials and then refine them and refine them and refine them.
I had to stop thinking like human and start thinking like Xi'an. How would an alien design shapes, movement, and technology?
With the Xi'an specifically, they have a lot of control over how they can manipulate different structures. So with the Railen, it has this really distinct state change between its flight silhouette and its landed silhouette.
The original concept had triangular cargo containers themselves holding the cargo inside, but now during production we've changed that to use standardized cargo grids. That means you are not constrained by any of the mission types that you would have had before, having to manually load all these cargo units into custom cargo containers. Now you can just turn up to any location. It supports up to 32 SU containers, so you can just load them on easily, offload them easily.
We have 2 size 2 tractor turrets that sit on the bottom wings. 2 rear bridge seats each control one of these turrets and can use them to add and remove cargo from the cargo grid as they like. The turrets move with the wings. You have an okay view when the wings are deployed, so when you're flying around in space, but when your wings are in the landed position, you have a really, really good view over the cargo grids.
And for those who really appreciated the original aesthetic of those triangular cargo pods, we've retained the signature triangular elements of that as a deployable armoured shield over the cargo beds. The shields themselves are a physical barrier that stop projectiles from hitting the cargo themselves. Obviously, having it deployed makes the cargo very hard to take off, but offers that protection. This essentially makes a sort of hybrid interior-exterior cargo ship. You get the benefits of both systems. You have the ease of loading of exterior cargo, as well as the protection of interior cargo. And then as a further benefit for those of you who like counting boxes, we also managed to increase the cargo capacity from 320 to 640 with these changes as well.
640.
On the Railen, you can enter the ship one of 2 ways.
That's actually really nice.
So if the ship is landed, you enter through a lift at the very bottom. And if you are in flight or you're in space, you have a docking collar on the top rear.
The elevator shaft is a really nice central part of the whole ship. It's the first thing you see as you walk in, and it leads you through every floor. You can see all the way up.
A lot of our human ships tend to be quite flat, quite long, whereas what we've tried to develop is this idea that the aliens prefer a little bit more kind of verticality to their ship. The middle floor of the ship is all habitation.
The habs are very strange when you first walk in. You kind of have a big bank of these pods that feel quite strange and different to the kind of habitations you might be used to in a typical human ship. But at the same time, it's incredibly cozy in there. You kind of have to crawl into the space. You have all this really nice stonework that covers the bed. We carry on this same sort of motif of these ribbons that sort of run around every part of the ship, which you can imagine is kind of carrying the energy and the power from the engineering and powering all these rooms.
We try to make it feel quite relaxing, quite calm. So they brought in these waterfalls that run down the sides of the walls in the mess area. On one side you've got the bathrooms, and on the opposite side you've got the food preparation area. As this is an alien ship, it caters to both the Xi'an and the humans. So for the humans, you've got a chow line where you're able to get your food and your drink.
Alongside the very specialist Xi'an food area.
Are these the ones that eat poop?
These are the ones that eat poop, or are these the ones that poop squares? I can't remember. These are the turtles, but they behave like birds.
And then off to either side, we have a small room that has a small bench and like a viewing out over the front of the ship. We've got the 2 escape pods on either side and also the turret access. Finally, if you take the elevator up to the top floor, it takes you straight into engineering.
The engineering is really kind of imposing, and it just feels very important. You can tell that there's like a lot of power running through this room. Your different component bays all around the room facing you, and they all open up with like the impressive Xi'an tech grav plating all moving out of the way. The alien design comes in with quite how wide these component bays are. There's a lot of room that accommodates more space needed to access them than just a slim little engineer who's making his way in. You also have these beams that are coming across the ceiling, and you can tell that there's power thrumming through like these ribbons that are coming from each of the component bays. It's a really, really interesting room, and it was a lot of fun to work on.
As you go towards the front of the ship, you're into the bridge area, and this probably has one of the best views out of a lot of ships that we've done.
There is 4 seats floating on air, so that feels like it's totally alien uncanny thing. When you enter the seat, they're rotating with a fancy flying animation. I hope that they feel really wow effect, because it's pretty different than the usual ships we have.
The cargo capacity of the ship lends itself to the vast majority of cargo missions, so it's great for cargo players, and it's not short in the firepower category either. It has great turrets and pilot-controlled weapons as well as missiles.
I think all the team did their job so fantastic.
It looks cool, sharp, aggressive.
Very happy with it. I really like the overall aesthetic on the interior, and the design is an interesting way to use this sort of tall 3-story ship in still actually quite a small space.
This ship is for someone that wants to go out with their friends, they don't mind taking on a bit of danger, and they want to look a little bit different, a little bit cool doing it.
At least it doesn't take off on its back. That's the only thing I don't like about the Xi'an. That looks fantastic, everyone. I think that ship will be really nice being released. We'll have to wait to see how they're going to release it, and what the price. Wow, I don't know what's going on. What the price will end up being. Now, currently, at least on third-party websites, or what everyone likes to call the gray market, the going price was in between $230 and $279. However, good luck at finding anything right now. They all seem to be sold out or taken off the market until probably the release of the ship, I have a feeling. And with that being said, I would have to say the going price probably for the Railen will probably be in between $320 to $380. We'll have to see when the release happens. So currently we have the GATAC Railen Elevating Cargo Technology and Design. So this is a ship page that they currently have put out there. I do have to say this looks very cool. I love what they did with the command basically area of the ship, and that it doesn't take off and land vertically. I can't get over that. I love the fact that it goes on to 4 legs to actually sit down. We all know they got rid of these cargos, so we're going to be using natural cargo. So we don't have to worry about that now. So we know for a fact this has changed since the last time they actually posted this on the website. However, it does land in the same kind of atmosphere. We know we have missiles. We know we have a crap load of hard points, which I was actually quite surprised about. And crew 4. And we have 2 man turrets and 2 size 4 weapons. We know that's changed because it looks like on the front of the ship there is 4 hard points controlled by the actual pilot, and then there's 2 hard points on each side with the man turret. So that is one thing we know that has changed. We know for a fact that the docking collar is there. These seats are no longer like this anymore. You're now being elevated in, and so they're not connected in any way. And it has more of a moving process. We'll have to see how this ship actually holds up. I got a feeling that it might hold up for 1 day, maybe 2 days, until they might have to figure out, because there's a lot of moving parts on this ship, like a lot compared to normal ships. I mean, there's so much invisible parts moving on this ship. But I have a feeling that this ship will kind of set the new standard, I hope, for aesthetically pleasing, especially from that video where they showed all the aesthetics like you get at Microtech, like the digital fish, the digital birds, the plant life and everything. I hope they start bringing a lot more of that into ships, or make it to where it can be added to the ships, so that way we can make some of our ships have a little bit more of an aesthetically pleasing atmosphere. And as we saw right here, it says 320. We know that's already been pumped up to 600 plus. So that is, they are definitely upgrading. We know the sleep pods somewhat look the same, kind of stayed in the same atmosphere. I mean, like aesthetic, but they went from this to like a hard stone, which I think is really cool. I think it's really changed the dynamic of the turtle race and what they're currently doing. So as we can see here, the owners of this ship is this race right here, which now when we get to see this race and the helmet that they Star Citizen just released, it makes a lot of sense of who actually owns this ship from GATAC Industries. The ancient diplomat of the stars, imagining a shimmering metropolis filled with sleek crystalline structures and graceful reptilian inhabitants who live centuries calmly orchestrating events on the grand scale. I have to say that this race, where they said that crystalline architecture, and they moved most of the ship into where it's like a mined rock that need no refinement to it, makes a lot of sense with who they're currently going with. And it makes a lot more sense with the fact that the new model that they put out right here, look at that. That is the alien race we are working with. That's their skull anyways. So it makes a lot of sense, and how they changed that paint literally looks like it's just stone mined, right? On this new fighter. So I gotta say, I like the more lore they're bringing into the game, and I think it's really gonna work out. Alright, one thing I forgot to do is check to see if they had updated the actual page for the ship. As you guys can see now, they have somewhat updated it. They haven't updated the photos for the actual ship yet, but as you guys can see here, 225 was the last time that it was sold for. View offers. currently only in the Dominus pack for sale. However, they did update the technical specs. And as you guys can see here, 640 SCU of cargo, 2x8 size for turrets, 2x2 size 3 turrets. I mean, oh, those are missiles. Whoa! Excuse me. 2 size 4 weapons. 2 by size 4 turrets, which are on the side. Now, as you guys noticed from the review, so they updated the cargo space. However, we all know that there was 4 turrets, 2 turrets here and then 2 turrets here for the pilot controlled weapons. So we know for a fact that has actually changed. But they did update at least the cargo. 640 cargo I find is a whole lot, especially if we compare it to another ship, the Hull B. What? How's that not coming up? Oh, I probably spelled that wrong. Let's just type in B. The Hull B. Oh yeah. Wow. I can't spell word this shit, can I, guys? All right. So we have the Hull B here, and as you guys can see, 512 cargo for the Hull B. So we are getting a hauling ship that will be able to do a whole lot more cargo, and actually looks like, because you know these are shot off very easily on the Hull B right here, the cargo is just easily shot off, where the Railen will actually have that armor plating that goes across some of the cargo, so it won't be shot off as easily. So it's kind of like they said, an interior exterior kind of cargo thing. So I think that will be a nice change going forward for some haulers. So until this is actually released, we'll have to see how this actually happens. So thank you for coming and watching Over 30s Gaming, everyone. Appreciate all y'all. Stay tuned and wait until next week when we get to fly the GATAC Railen for the first time. Until next time, gamers, don't forget to keep on gaming, to always have fun, and if you fly in the verse, fly dangerously. Thank you for watching O3G.